Hello my dear friends. Me David Nolan, with a new history topic in our channel. Verghese Kurien. Who was Verghese Kurien? Most popular as the visionary who architected India's White Revolution, Verghese Kurien was a social business person who served to establish the framework of improvement from the grassroots. He accepted that the genuine improvement of a country was conceivable just if the ranchers at the grassroots were endowed with the obligation of getting sorted out equitable ventures. Growing up as the child of a common specialist, youthful Verghese had no interest at all in dairy creation. Truth be told, he was not even enamored with milk or milk items. How he at last turned into the father of White Revolution was only a peculiarity of destiny which guided him towards what might turn into his life's calling. One of the significant advocates of the agreeable development, he drove the Operation Flood which made India, a formerly milk-inadequate country, the biggest milk maker on the planet. Under his capable course and direction, around 30 agreeable establishments like AMUL, IRMA, and NDDB flourished. He helped AMUL in spearheading the most common way of delivering milk powder from wild ox milk, which was one of the variables that prompted his arrangement as the author-administrator of National Dairy Development Board (NDDB). Adolescence and early life, he was brought into the world as the child of a common specialist in Kochi, Kerala. Despite the fact that he was naturally introduced to a Christian family, he turned into an agnostic sometime down the road. He went to Loyola College and graduated in physics in 1940, preceding joining the College of Engineering in Guindy, from where he got his bachelor's in mechanical engineering. He wanted to learn and promoted his schooling by joining the Tata Steel Technical Institute, Jamshedpur, prior to moving to the US to learn at the Michigan State University on a government scholarship. He procured his Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering in 1948. Vocation. On his return from the US in 1949, the Government of India deputed him to a creamery at Anand, in Gujarat, where he should serve 5 years as an official of the dairy division. He actually had no interest in dairy, yet needed to play out this work as a trade-off for the public authority grant. Kurien at first secured his position extremely subpar, however was captivated by the way the milk wholesalers and ranchers were taken advantage of by the guile and rich money managers. There was one individual, Tribhuvandas Patel, who was making an honest effort to join the ranchers to frame a helpful development and battle against the abuse. Kurien was incredibly motivated by this man and chosen to go along with him. Patel prevailed with regards to framing an agreeable Kara District Cooperative Milk Producers Union Limited (KDCMPUL), however confronted colossal pressing factor from a contending dairy business, Polson Dairy. Kurien chose to help Patel in his undertakings. Formed in 1946, the Kara District Cooperative Milk Producers Union Limited (KDCMPUL) before long came to be known as AMUL Dairy, which assumed an extremely huge part in India's White Revolution. AMUL assumed a significant part in introducing India's White Revolution, which assisted with making India, an until now milk-insufficient country, probably the biggest maker of milk on the planet. H.M. Dalaya, a companion of Kurien and a dairy master, concocted a technique for making milk powder and dense milk from bison milk. It reformed the Indian dairy industry, as till that point such prepared things could be made distinctly with cow's milk. The AMUL dairy was effective to such an extent that the model was before long imitated in a few other adjoining areas in Gujarat. Significant works. Verghese Kurien is the man behind the accomplishment of the milk agreeable, AMUL Dairy, which prodded India's White Revolution, yet in addition became one of the nation's biggest and most believed food brands, which likewise ventured into abroad business sectors. Grants and achievements. Kurien was a long-lasting student who accepted that schooling is an endless cycle. He had been gave with privileged degrees from numerous noticeable establishments including Michigan State University and Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences. He was respected with a few renowned honors for his constant administrations to the dairy and cultivating networks. A portion of his honors include Padma Shri 1965, Padma Bhushan 1966, and Padma Vibhushan 1999 by the Government of India, the Ramon Magsaysay Award 1963, and World Food Prize 1989. Individual life and legacy. He was hitched to Molly, with whom he had one girl, Nirmala. He was granddad to Siddharth, Nirmala's child. He carried on with a long and useful life and kicked the bucket in 2012 at 90 years old after a concise disease. Random data. This renowned character, known as the father of White Revolution, never drank milk himself.